Thank you, Lily, and thank you for your incredible leadership over so many years, but particularly now, during this unprecedented moment in our nation's history. Your voice has been one of courage, you've been a source of inspiration, and you consistently demonstrate what is possible for our nation and within each and every one of us. If we believe, if we fight, if we work together. 6 months ago, when I came home to the NEA and took on this role, I never could have imagined, or any of us could, that we would be in the middle of 3 crises. A healthcare crisis that has claimed the lives of too many NEA members and other frontline workers, an economic crisis that has destroyed family businesses and ravaged state and local economies, and a justice crisis, one that we see being lifted up in our streets via protest and a demand to make our society more just. Values are what guide our actions. And with the threat of COVID-19, the uncertainty facing our schools and our students and our members, against the stain of institutional racism that we continue to see, I see NEA members rising in this defining moment to meet it by standing on and leading in to our values. They are our articles of faith. They are who we are. And they are a force far stronger than any division that some might seek to sow. Some of our greatest moments as an organization have been when we have fought for our core values, for democracy, a just society, for equal opportunity, whether that was for women's suffrage or child labor laws or school desegregation or human and civil rights or LGBTQ rights or immigrant rights or environmental rights. We are at our best when we lean into our values. This is who we are. This is the story of the NEA. And for 160 years, we have stood to advocate for those without a voice. It is hard work. We haven't always been perfect, but we've made progress. And despite the progress, though, we know that there are still plenty of laws to change and hearts to open and work to do to create the society that is worthy of our students and worthy of the values we uphold. I cannot let us forget that one of the shining moments of courage and leaning into our values came with our merger. The merger of the American Teachers Association with the National Education Association in 1966. It was a pivotal moment in our evolution as an organization for racial and social justice. That courageous act sent a message to the entire world about who we are and what we stand for. As the first woman and first person of color to hold this post, I too stand with you, NEA members, in accepting the profound responsibility and sacred trust to defend our legacy, uphold our core values, and stand together with you in the fight to create a more just society. I see you, NEA members, standing up and speaking out in unprecedented ways, and so many are taking such significant actions. We saw Education Minnesota, together with the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers, stand up and call for the resignation of the president of the police union. Stand together with community organizations, allies, and parents and students, and demand that the school district rescind the contract with the Minneapolis Police Department because they had seen evidence time and time again of institutionally racist practices that had an incredibly devastating and disparate impact on our Black and brown students. And many, many more, unfortunately many more, of our local affiliates have experienced the same thing and are proudly following in Education Minnesota and MFT's example. Where there is evidence of these kinds of patterns, it is our responsibility to stand up and take action. I hope that you are as proud as I am of the resources that exist to help all of our members on this march, this walk, this crusade to end institutional racism. It's a crusade that we began in 2015 with the passage of NBIB. And we started with the hard work. We started with looking inside, looking at ourselves, learning, challenging, understanding. I hope you go on neaedjustice.org and look at all the resources that you have helped develop. I hope that you go on our Member Monday page at neatoday.org and look at the examples of so many stories of NEA members leading and centering their leadership around racial and social justice. These are the stories. These and so many more are the exact reason why NEA, for the last 50 years, to honor our legacy, to honor our merger, and to honor our members' commitment to social justice. This is exactly why we have this evening. This is exactly why we lift up and honor human and civil rights activists, community organizations, policy advocates, artists, community leaders. The NEA Human and Civil Rights Awards Committee pours over countless nominations for these awards to select honorees that you will hear about tonight. But they do more than that. They lift up these stories as a source of inspiration and fuel for our efforts. Inspiration for the rest of us to continue to fight deep racial, social, economic, and political inequities that have been laid bare due to this pandemic. Inspiration from the stories of the work of our nominees, our honorees tonight. They've devoted their lives to making our society more just, making sure that our society demonstrates the values of equity and dignity and justice and respect and diversity. You are giving us inspiration so that we never rest, especially when the evidence of inequality and bias and fear marches alongside us every day in our communities and, unfortunately, in our schools. Tonight, the NEA HCR Awards Committee has given us the gift of being able to listen and learn and be inspired by our awardees' commitment to honoring these values and so many more. I believe we, NEA, are the sum of all the choices we make, and I hope tonight will inspire you to make additional choices, new choices, maybe even different choices, to stand together with communities in our neighborhoods and our networks and our families to fight for racial and social justice. Thank you, NEA HCR Committee, and congratulations to all of our awardees for everything that you have done and will continue to do. We pledge that we will stand with you and we will rise together. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the chair of the NEA Human and Civil Rights Awards Committee, Valerie Fisher.